Monday Night Football. The Cincinnati Bengals are on the road to take on the Dallas Cowboys. My best bets are on the way. In this video, we have two player props, one for each team. Then, of course, I'll talk about who I think wins, covers. I even have a team total that I like in this video. If you are new, my name is Austin. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we begin the day recapping how we did on Sunday. And hey, it was an okay day for us, 5-3. Pacheco came through late night Sunday Night Football. We needed that to kind of decide our day. We split both of our Baker Mayfield props. Aaron Jones came through. Saquon Barkley, I mean, that guy's a stud. And then Russell Wilson did not throw an interception. Our losers, Baker was in there. Tyron Tracy got the attempts, not enough rush yards. Stafford, probably our only bad read of the day, if I'm being honest. But we'll take a 5-3 day. Let's hopefully go 2-0 tonight, and let's keep things moving. Before I dive into the plays for each of the teams, I do have to point out, Underdog Fantasy, still right now, if you use my code COS, they're matching your first deposit up to $1,000. That's pretty sweet. They're also giving away a Joe Burrow free square. So you can take that free square, put it together with the two props I'm about to talk about, and make some good money. So take advantage of that code COS or the link down below. Match your first deposit up to $1,000. But let's dive into some picks today. I got nothing else to promote. This video is posting a little bit later on Monday, but hey, we're going to dive into these winners. And let's begin on the Cincinnati Bengals side, where I'm taking T. Higgins over 69.5 receiving yards, minus 118 on FanDuel. Now, I would take him up to about 74.5. This is obviously the 70 plus receiving yards, so every book should have a line for you. It just might depend on how juiced or where you're going to find it. But I like T. Higgins a lot in this matchup. And, you know, T. Higgins, has he dealt with some injuries this year? Yeah, but when he's on the field, he's been a stud. And in his last 5 games, 83, 77, 82, 148, and then 69 receiving yards. So did finish on the hook last week. Now, if you remember that last week game, he had 10 targets, only 5 receptions, and he was getting constantly held. I think he drew 5 or 6 either defensive holdings or defensive pass interferences, and even asked Mike Tomlin, who they were facing the Steelers, and if he made that, it kind of went a little bit viral what he said, but it was, when you play Shaq, you're going to use your free throws. So that's use your fouls. So that was kind of tough. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do the same thing here. At least we hope not. And hopefully he gets some opportunities. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm probably trying to game plan at our best effort to try to take away Jamar Chase. And that could lead to some one-on-one coverage with T. Higgins. And I'm going to trust T. Higgins in one-on-one every day of the week, just like Joe Burrow does. And he'll give him some opportunities to make some plays. And the books think he gets the ball a good amount. His receptions line sitting at 5.5. Him to get 5 receptions is about minus 270. So pretty dang juiced for him to get 5 receptions. 4 is even crazier. In his last 30 games, when he's seen 5 receptions, he's averaged about 94 yards per game, going over in about 70% of them. And a lot of these games, he at least getting to 60. So 70% goes up to like almost 90% when he sees 5 or more receptions. So I think it's right there. I like this matchup for him. I know Chase Brown's come on for the running game for the Bengals, but still, this is a very pass-happy offense, and I think T. Higgins makes some big plays tonight on Monday Night Football. Also, wide receivers have done pretty well against the Cowboys. 15 of them have at least 4 receptions versus them, and 10 of the 15 had 70. One of the guys ended with 69. That was Malik Neighbors last week for them. So, are going against them on Thanksgiving. So, I think this is a good spot to back T. Higgins. I don't really like taking him for receptions because he is more of a big play guy. So, hey, if he wants to get to 6 receptions, it was like minus 130. I certainly think he at least has 70 receiving yards. I really like the spot for T. Higgins on Monday Night Football. Now, I'll move to the side of the Dallas Cowboys, where I have a prop for them. And people won't like this one. It is Rico Dowdle of the Dallas Cowboys under 15.5 rushing attempts, minus 125 on DraftKings. Now, no one likes taking unders, but I got to take a stab at this one. This line could change depending on CeeDee Lamb's status. It does appear that he will be active. If he doesn't play, be a little bit more skeptical here, but again, I think he's out there, and I'm still fine fading Rico Dowdle here, who's been pretty decent. But if you just look at just take a step back and look at this game. Number one, you get the Cowboys as 5.5-point underdogs. Obviously, if they're trailing, they're not going to run it as much. And number two, other props. Cooper Rush, their quarterback, has a 36.5 pass attempts line. So we're thinking, whoa, he's going to throw it close to 36 times. I don't know how we're getting to 16 rush attempts for Rico Dowdle. Now, where you look at Dowdle, he is over in 2 straight games, 19 versus the Commanders and 22 versus the Giants. Now, technically, prior to that, he was under in 8 of 9 games. That can be a little bit misleading because he's obviously taken on more of a role in this backfield. But also not as misleading because the Cowboys were pretty bad prior to their last 2 games where they beaten the Commanders and Giants and pretty much led the entire game in both those 2 games. So obviously if you're leading in a game, you're going to run the ball, especially later on in the fourth quarter. This is a game that, well, who knows if they lead, and even if they do, you're still going to be scared of what the Bengals can do on offense and get back into the games. That's why we see a lot of teams passing against them. Since week 8, the Bengals, why the P teams pass against them? Well, because they allow the highest passer rating, second highest yards per pass attempt, and the fourth highest success rate per dropback. Their rush defense has been but the pass defense has been terrible. So why not just throw it against them, because they can't stop that. And we've kind of seen that translate over the last 4 weeks. The Bengals have allowed the following number of running back rush attempts: 21, 19, 18, and 19. I think the Cowboys are a pretty pass-happy offense compared to some of the teams the Bengals have seen. If they get in the 18, 19 range, I don't know if Dowdle has 16 of them. I think maybe he has 13, 14. So I do look at this as a good spot to fade Rico Dowdle. Not fading his under in yards, just fading the under in attempts. I just don't know if he gets a lot of volume tonight. And the Cowboys, we know when they trail, they ain't running the ball. They will abandon it. I know it's not Dak Prescott back there, but they will put it in Cooper Rush's hands to go sling it around. So I like fading Rico Dowdle in this capacity. I have no under in yards, maybe, but he could still rip off some good runs, but still go under the attempts. So I like the Rico Dowdle under 15.5 rushing attempts, my favorite Cowboys player prop in this game. I was going to do some CeeDee Lamb props, but again, I don't know what his status is, how healthy or not healthy he is. So I'm just going to avoid the rest of the Cowboys pass catchers. I'll just fade Rico Dowdle on the attempts. Now, finally, I need to talk about who I think wins and covers in this game. Now, I don't have a great lean on who I think covers. Logan, when we do our video where we go through every Sunday and Monday game, he did have the Cowboys plus 5.5. I have the Cowboys team total over 20.5. I don't know if that leads to them covering. I could see this game being very similar to like the Vikings and Falcons game. I mean, sure, you could say, hey, the Cowboys put up, Falcons put up 21 points, but they got smoked in that second half. So that wouldn't shock me if this is a very similar game to that, where you see the Cowboys put up some points, but the defense just can't stop the Bengals. Obviously, the Bengals haven't been great. They keep losing tight games. They find different ways to lose, and it's been agonizing if you're a Bengals fan. So I don't have a great lean on that spread. It feels pretty big. Feels like people want to take the Cowboys just based on how the Bengals have played so far this season. But obviously, everyone knows how talented they are. Their defense has just been struggling. So that's why I prefer, if I'm going to back the Cowboys, probably just rather their team total for them to score 21 points. I don't think I'll personally bet it, but I will take that would be what I would do. So in terms of my official picks in this game, Rico Dowdle under in rush attempts, T. Higgins over in receiving yards, and hopefully we can go 2-0 and wrap up this week of 14 and move on to week 15, when hopefully we can start to get into some momentum. And I think we can. We had some good reads on Sunday, just could not get the ball to fall our way. I think we got a good chance at turning things around here with the 2-0 day. So those are my two favorite picks. A reminder, Underdog Fantasy, you can sign up using my code COS, those 3 letters, COS, or the link at the top of the description. They'll match your deposit up to $1,000. Hey, take advantage of that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for sticking around with me. Let's have a good Monday night game. Let's go 2-0, and then we'll move on to Thursday, which I think is a decent game. I think we have 2 Monday night games next week. Hey, it's a good time for the NFL. NBA is kind of lackluster the next few days, so my NBA video will probably be live a little bit later on today, just because we only have 1 game on. So I'll go dive into that right now after I edit this video. Have a great day. Good luck on your picks. Rico, we're fading you. T. Higgins, we need a massive game. Let's have a day. See you in the next one. Peace.